Okay, step one, rinse. Let's rinse this thing. You can see there's not a whole heck of a lot of anything. I put bead maker on this one time, but not much on the surface. I'm interested to see how much iron is on it. So I haven't put the rear carbon splitter on yet because I'm waiting for the new exhaust to do it all at once. So we won't worry about polishing that. I don't think we really need to do anything to the engine bay. Let's take a look. The engine bay is pretty clean. But normally this would be the step, the part of the process where I would do the engine bay just prior to decon, so I didn't get any junk all over the rest of the car. Yeah, I don't know. This thing makes me, yeah, I don't think there's really anything we need to do. This big old 1950s engine, I don't know if it'll respond very well to getting all wet. I don't know why this car, every other car I've just hosed it down, but this one kind of makes me not want to do that. But it's pretty clean. There's a new janky intake. Supposedly it makes 50 horsepower. I don't know about all that. Doesn't look too bad. I think I'm going to keep it. Yeah, we don't need to do the engine bay, but normally that's the process. I would do the engine bay right now, just real quickly, knock it out, clean it out, hit it with some hyper dressing, but I don't feel the need to do that. Maybe we should hit it with hyper dressing. What do you think?
I wouldn't do it because that's open right now.
Yeah.
All your water and your decon soap's going to go down to the engine bay.
Yeah.
It was just soaked there in the front just right now when you opened it.
Yeah. I didn't put that little tray back on because it doesn't fit. Okay, let's get our decon soap ready. Ready to go. Put some soap in here. Do I not have a 32 ounce here? Oh, it's right here. Rex. So we're going to put 150 milliliters of soap in our bottle. I need to get those Adams funnels too. I'm going to call them to get their stool and their funnels. So, you know, unless you're doing a lot of cars, you know, I like to have gallons of stuff, but I don't know, a lot of you do too. But 32 ounces. And I'm using way more soap than you need, but why not? We also send these with a dispenser. I don't know why I don't have one. I get all the hand-me-down stuff. All right, so here's the new bucket filler, a new fire hose nozzle, which everybody's freaking out to show it in operation. Well, I'm gonna show you an operation from now until infinity, so quit your freaking crying. People are so stupid. One guy legitimately probably wanted to see it, and then everybody else jumps up. Ooh, we get him. This is how we'll get him. So, the cool thing about this is it turns off. This one will turn off on both sides. So it turns off here, and it turns off up here. So it turns off on both sections. But I normally just leave it like this because I've got a quarter turn anyway. So I just take the quarter turn and turn it off with the prior hose bib and leave it at like a nice consistent pattern. I just think it's good. It has a better spray pattern than the old Adams, which is a Dixon valve. And it's freaking 30 bucks, 35 bucks. Somebody's like, hey, if I found it on Walmart for $12, then we'll go to Walmart then, bro. Leave me freaking out of it. It's 30 bucks. Quit your crying. Yep, it's clear. You're only doing this just to sell stuff and make money. Well, that's partially true. I guess I can't argue that. I just want to be able to wash my cars and do what I'm doing. All right, so we mix up the soap. You stick your finger in there like so. I'll wait to prepare this. So my general procedure is get the soap in the thing on the car, letting it sit on the car. I come over and prepare my wash bucket, and then start washing. That's the process. Ooh, I should have brought the PF 22.2 out here. Dang it. We missed an opportunity. Yeah, I got the new one, so should be out here any day, in like a week or so. Would have been a good way to launch it. I'll have to do a wash and talk here, hopefully when it's warmer. All right, so let's foam the car. This stuff foams really well. I also like it because it's super slick. I guess any soap like this would be pretty slick. All right. You know, people get so concerned about having shaving cream like foam. I mean, it's really not all that necessary. Just as long as it foams up a little bit and sticks to the surface, that's all we really need. I mean, I understand not everybody's gonna have a 3 gallon a minute monster pressure washer. So don't get too concerned about that. You don't want some watery bull crap, but you want it to be, you don't have to worry about it being crazy thick. It doesn't work any better being thicker. Just gonna rinse this out. Put this back together. Set that aside, and then let's prep our wash bucket. So there you go, operation of the bucket filler. Suck it. Frickin' 2 seconds. Just buy one, it's 30 bucks. When have I ever steered you astray? It's only the goofballs that aren't buying anything anyway. Shut your mouth. So then I never even turn it off. I just leave it at my preferred spray pattern and just let it sit like that with my fancy hose. Garden hose works just as well. Yeah, well, you stick with your loser garden hose. I'm gonna have a bucket filler. All right. So washing like normal. Ah, shoot. It's getting a lot warmer, isn't it? Feels like it is. Bryce is not agreeing with me. His hands are cold. His little baby hands are cold.
I did not say that. You made that up.
What, baby hands?
No,
oh.
Not my hands are cold. I didn't see a thing.
Oh.
You had a judgment there.
Every time I always get it on my freaking leg.
49 degrees now.
I get too excited about getting started on the wash process. I need to get. Did I ever get new wiper blades? I don't think I did. I need to get new wiper blades. That's something I usually do. Is it going to get me more hate when I say I don't like washing this car? You know, I always talk about the M3L. It's my favorite car to wash. It's part of the reason why I don't like this one. I don't like washing it. Like it's just too. It's too not good. Somebody's gonna come and kill me. I'm definitely gonna get assassinated on this car. But I bet you my Corvette's gonna be better than yours, bro. 1 of 1. I'm gonna get me one of those plaques. It's 1 of 1, detailed by Matt Mormon.
Who's also me.
They don't have to know that. That's something that a Corvette guy would do for sure at a car show. Just detailed by John Smith. John Smith told me he was a great detailer. That makes it 1 of 1 because my mirror caps had an extra bit of sparkle in it that nobody else has. Production year 2018. It's so rare that they've already discontinued all the interior parts that I can't buy. Ay, ay, ay. I'm most excited to polish this part right here. Although we're gonna have to put it on the lift because I can't reach very well. This thing is just so bulky and lazy. Ugh.
I think they make a Aussie little hood prop so you can prop your Corvette hood up.
Backwards. It's a backwards one.
Polish.
It's a backwards hood prop. Freaking dumb. Oh, you gotta watch my intake install video. I smacked my head on there about 10 times. Oh boy. I've got to edit that one myself because I've got to edit it down a little bit because I definitely would get assassinated for that video. You call it assassinated when you're a YouTube star? I don't think you do. I think you just call it murdered. I do like how sturdy this is. Every other lip on every BMW I've ever done, I'm always like gently touching it. This one I can freaking stand on it. Those rivets. I'm assuming this has been repainted or not, but this doesn't match that. That's for darn sure. I can't believe you're not going to put PPF on it. Well, I don't give a crap about this car, so you can chalk it up to that. Then why are you polishing it if you don't care about it? Should have never bought it. I thought I explained that. Now I can talk trash about it for infinity. That's why I did it. Now we know the root of it, Bryce.
I think you just went with jorts.
I like to justify things. Michelle was yelling at me about that the other day. So you have so many opinions. I'm like, I don't have opinions. Opinions are not based on any fact. She's like, well, whatever big word you use to call it. I said, well, it's not an opinion. Opinions are for Republicans. I am a registered Republican, in case you're wondering. I'm contemplating not punting that card in the trash, though. I got on a Fox News. I just turned it on the other day for the first time in probably 10 years. I'm like, let me just see what's going on here. It's the 6 o'clock news. It's the funniest crap I've ever seen in my life. Oh my gosh, who watches that garbage? Fair and balanced. I'm like, what? And then I turned on CNN, and now CNN is like trying to keep up with them and becoming the opposite spectrum. Like, well, this is what we got to do to survive. So this part here, and I always hit the door jambs. I mean, water kind of gets in there and runs through, so you don't have to worry about doing any kind of special rinsing. Like this part here. If there's any soap left, we'll get it when we're drying and blowing it out. But yeah, just turn on that Fox News stuff, man. It's so funny. Like, people watch this? It's ridiculous. That chick Tommy Lauren was on there. It was so funny. You watch her get all fired up, just manipulating people. They can't really believe that, do they? I'm washing an American car. I'm allowed to talk America. There's a whole lot of plastic back here. Jeez. You don't realize how big this car is until you wash it. It's freaking giant. We're gonna have to use some Tar-X because we have some edges to address from the PPF that was on the car. Yeah, it's fascinating how not low the car is, but how low it is. Like, look how low that side splitter is. It's crazy low. I mean, and yet we still have a giant wheel gap. We're gonna rinse it and then we're gonna iron remove it. Need to wash this American car more often to get me to start talking to me about politics. I still live on the comment that sums it up for me was Gary Vee talked about how if you believe that who the president is going to make or break your destiny, he said something like, then you're an effing loser or something like that. I kind of took that to heart. I never understood why. I don't really freaking care. I'll just figure out my own way. All right, so we have a nice, clean, but there certainly isn't any beading going on here. Water's just parked on the surface. And the mechanical decontamination part of this is going to take 2 seconds because there's like not a whole lot of surface contamination on the car. Just there's some sticky residue from the PPF. But that's about it. Yeah, with all the little pockets and weird little areas, this car doesn't rinse as easily as other cars. Not a big deal, but you do have to be more mindful of soap, and tends to get trapped in areas that other cars don't have because of all the angular areas on it. Waiting for the email. I knew it. That's it. I knew it. I'm unsubscribing. You hate America. No, I hate American cars. Not all American cars. I like the GD350. All right, what was I doing? Iron removal? Yeah. I hate these kind of pump sprayers. It wastes so much product. Like, we'll use all what's left in here in like 2 seconds. This is a press-all. For everybody who gets all excited about pump sprayers. In about a year, you won't hear anything about these anymore. I'm not really too excited about new products. I'm more interested in finding old products that we didn't know about that are awesome, that have been developed for a while. So see, we used a whole lot of this in about a quart. I probably could have done the whole car in that amount of product. So I'm just going to spray it on. There next. If you knew that your car was really jacked up from an iron perspective, then you'd probably want to, what I would do, I probably wouldn't dry it, but I'd at least blow it off. Yeah, see, this one's leaking too. Gee whiz. You know, having a more concentrated formula on the surface of the paint is never a bad thing. But for this, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a whole heck of a lot of iron on the surface, being as the whole car was covered in PPF, or has possibly been painted in some areas. I'm not too concerned, but it'll be interesting to see. In about a minute here, we'll start to see it, being as this is a light gray finish. I'm not going to hit the wheels because the wheels are already coated. Although if I did hit the wheels, this, again, it's not going to strip the coating off. If it were that easy to remove the coating, then the coating kind of wouldn't serve much of a purpose. This also will not strip waxes and sealants, and this is just for iron. You know, people tend to use this, they pretend like this is doing some sort of magical prep work. It's not. This is for iron removal, and that's basically it. There's nothing on the hood. A couple of little spots. It's a little bit. So then, what I'll generally do, let's just take a towel, wet it. Just wet it, and we'll just kind of spread it in. But you can see there's some iron in the surface, on the surface. If you kind of walk around the car, you can kind of see it. And this step is not absolutely necessary, but it can't hurt. Ready to rinse it. Do a good rinsing, and then we get to clay it. This would be a good spot to use deionized water, because now we're going to go around and auto scrub the car. And so it would be a good idea to have some DI water so that you don't end up with any kind of mineral content. My water's pretty good out here, so I don't even worry about it. But if your water was harder, it's nice to be able to auto scrub the whole car and not have to keep spraying it off all the time. I don't ever worry about putting Iron X on the door jambs, but you could if you really wanted to take it to the next level. This is where, you know, if you're buying a used Corvette, it's always good, you know, because old man River is gonna freaking buff the crap out of this car by washing it all the time and not doing it right. So if it has PPF on it, you won't have a car that's all jacked up like this one did. You know, the Corvette is the epitome of go to Cars and Coffee and wipe it down with a single rag from bottom to top. Let's fill up our bucket. A little bit of water just to dunk our auto scrub in. Just put a little water in there. This is the last step. We got two things. Put some of this stuff away first. Oh, my fingers are not moving. Just clean this up, put this away. And we're gonna use Nanoscan Glide, diluted 7:1. This thing we can pretty much punt. Oh, shoot. This bucket filler is way faster than the Adams one. It flows a little bit more, so I tend to overfill quicker. Put that back. All right, so we got Glide. Glide comes in concentrate. So, you know, I have a gallon and a 16 ounce. I shouldn't have to, this might get the whole car. I might have to mix some up. But you take the 16 ounce and put, mix it 7:1-ish. That's how I use it. And then I've got two devices here. I've got the pad with the strap and then the sponge for the block. I don't like the wash mitt. I feel like you lean in too much with that thing. So I don't use that. I just use these two. So what we'll do is take our Glide, take our bucket, which I just overfilled and made a huge mess. Depending on how dirty the car is, how old the car is, or where it's been, a lot of times I won't even get these out, but I always start on the glass. Even though these have been used before, I don't know, it's good habit, good practice. I do the glass first. Spray it on and go to town. I need a new windshield. I'm gonna call Safe Light and get a new windshield.
It's like you're at our place every week.
So with auto scrub, this is what you do. You just move it around. Again, I'm not using really any pressure. I'm just using motion, if you will. And like I said, in the beginning of the video, I used to micromanage this process and like sit there with it because I thought the clay bar was the polishing, you know, back in the old days. But this is just a means to an end. I just want to get the surface cleaned up, free of as much of the contamination as possible. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm supposed to be doing the glass first. I already abandoned that idea. But I want to get the surface clean so that I'm not pulling and dragging a bunch of contamination along the polishing pad. It's interesting, I'm not excited to polish this car. It's more of like I'm excited to get it done. So at least the car looks good, decent, and isn't such a pain to wash, take care of. So this one I'm detailing to make it my life easier, but my GT3 I'm excited to go through the process. I think this roof is it's not aftermarket, but I think it's an OEM, like purchase after the fact. Because I think these come with a glass roof. What do I know? If the car's really bad, you'll be able to hear it. You'll be able to hear the contamination removal on this. It's not too bad, so not much to do. Obviously, we'll be putting the badges back on. I got some black ones. I'm not worried about this because we're replacing this. I don't know, what do you think? Should I get the carbon fiber surrounds? I think I should. Guess I won't need to use a whole lot of Tarex because this is, the auto scrub's kind of taking it all off. All the residue that wasn't coming off in washing. See this line here? So that's like where the PPF ended.
It's really good right by the mirror.
It's taking it off. Yeah, see, here's a piece here. What are we? But will be about 15 minutes worth of work to get it mechanically decontaminated, and then we can move on to the next part of the process. I'm hoping I can get a shipping confirmation of all the interior, because I got a new one of these. See, that's the advantage of an auto scrub. If you drop the clay, bar of clay, you'd have to throw it away. This, I just go rinse it off. And we're good to reuse it. Again, if you had some real heavy contamination, you would have to be a bit more discerning than I am here, but this car doesn't have much, so. This process also, one of the disadvantages of doing auto scrub versus a clay bar is I would think this wouldn't remove as much wax if there was wax left over as the so the auto scrub wouldn't do as much as the clay bar would. Okay, so that's auto scrub. Let's rinse it and dry it. So this will complete the process of prepping for polish. So normally I would do this stuff the night before so that the car could dry overnight. That way you don't end up with water dripping out when you're trying to tape it. We'll probably just do some, I'll probably just do a little bit of air compressor work to blow out all the extra stuff. But I really want to rinse it well now. Get everything off. All right. So now we're gonna blow it off, but we don't want to dry it we don't want to dry with a drying aid, which kind of stinks because it's going to be hard to dry, because even blowing it off isn't going to do much because there's nothing on the surface other than the fact that it's decontaminated, so the water won't stick as if it was dirty and unwaxed, but having it without any wax or sealant or coating means that it's not going to dry so easily. Why don't you just put a drain in? It's not that easy. All right, so let's blow it. I'm gonna get some waterproof shoes. So waterproof moon shoes. Foot's all wet.
Toes a little wet.
A little wet, a little cold. Ooh, that's cold on my ears. Dang it. Ego 580. This is really going to look great when we get it coated, polished and coated. I'm hoping it's a one step. See the difference of the water coming off? the wheels because the wheels are coated. All right, so when you would use this normally, when the car's coated, we'll get the car like 95% dry. Now we're not getting it nearly as dry. All right, so now we just take a couple of big, I usually take one of these and one of these and dry it off without any kind of drying aid. And that's the decon process. I have a meeting with my coach and then I'll drive the car over, park it at HQ, probably start taping it this afternoon. I don't know what the heck that is. Is that a chip? Well, I'm telling you, when I'm done with this thing, somebody's gonna get a freaking sick Corvette. And then they can take it to the next level if they wanted to. Yeah, so we're gonna end up doing some Tarex to get the rest of that off. So this would be normally, before I dry it, would have been smart to go around the car with some Tarex, but I'll just spot treat it while we're polishing. A lot of times it's easier to do that. See, like the edges like up here, where we still have some residue, some glue residue left over from the PPF removal. Just on the edges, like the dirt around the edges of the PPF. I wonder how I'm gonna get in there and get all that kind of funk out of there. Probably the air compressor. So this step isn't critical because I'll probably have to wipe it down when I get it to the garage anyway. I can't wait to put the APR Performance rear bumper section on. That thing looks pretty sick. So I'm also not drying as critically as I normally would. Just want to get the bulk of the water off. So we're going to spot treat each panel when we're polishing. But normally, you know, if you're not driving down the street like I am, you could just dry it and get rolling. But I still think the best way to do this for your own sanity is to do the decon process the night before. All right, so that's the decon process. Episode 2, I'm gonna go back over to HQ, grab all the gear that we used, talked about product pricing, Decon Package, all of that stuff. So this series I'm gonna do not to sell you on stuff, but to focus on exactly what you need. Because I have a tendency to just use it in the videos and skip over some of those details. And so I'm gonna get into those details here on this product series. Trying to decide now if I get aggressive on cleaning up the jams. So I think what I'll do, I think I'll do all the jams individually as I'm polishing each panel, cleaning it out, because I'm going to be coating all of those. So we'll clean those up really, really well with the eraser. So I'm not even going to wipe the jams down. I'm just going to leave it like it is and let it kind of air dry and take it over to HQ. But episode 2 will be the specific products we used and the why behind each one of them and how much you'll need. So anyway, thanks for watching this episode. Catch you on the next one.